Hello, everyone. This is the Seder at War number 6, one of the more elaborate, and I would even say boring parts of the Seder, is right after V'hisha Amda. It's a beautiful song, V'hisha Amda, each to their own, and then we get into a whole elaborate part of the Seder in which we take the passages from the beginning of Parshat Kitavo, starting with Tzei Ulmad, go out and learn. Ma bikesh Lavan ha'arami la'asot liYaakov Avinu. What indeed did Lavan try to do to Yaakov, our forefather? Paro only wanted to kill the male children, but Yaakov's father-in-law Lavan bikesh la'akor et hakol. He wanted to destroy us totally. And then we go into this elaborate passage. What does this have to do with V'hisha Amda? We just said V'hisha Amda. All of a sudden, we go into this long, elaborate passage about how terrible it was to be in servitude and how we eventually got out of it. Explains Rabbi David Foreman, God never promised us that we won't suffer. God never promised us that we won't fight wars. As a matter of fact, God never promised us that we won't be taken captive. Point positive. Every Monday and Thursday we daven. The famous words of Achenu kol Beit Yisrael hanimtzaim batzara ubashivya, our brothers, the house of Israel, that find themselves in hardships and in captivity. It's part of the service because it seemed like it's going to be part of our lives. But there is one thing that God did promise us, and that is we will never be destroyed. And so, the author of the Haggadah came along and said, V'hisha Amda. God said, despite all attempts, you will always be around, and I will prove it to you. There was a Lavan. He tried to destroy the Jewish people. He ran after Yaakov, Vayirdof acharav, with all his friends, with all his brothers. And yet, he didn't destroy Yaakov. And then there was a Paro, who also tried to destroy the Jewish people, and they suffered. Yaakov suffered under Lavan, and Paro indeed made the Jewish people suffer, but in both cases they weren't destroyed. So indeed, what follows naturally after V'hisha Amda is to show that we will suffer, but we won't be destroyed. And that, in my opinion, is so germane this year. We are in the middle of suffering. We are in the middle of a war, but we will not be destroyed. We suffered greatly this year, and October 7th is still fresh on our minds. The war is still being fought, and the captives have not been brought home. At my personal Seder, we will set a place with an empty chair, and we will daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that empty chair be filled with the 133 captives that have still not been returned to their families. We will suffer. We will indeed be tarnished, but we will never be destroyed. Paro tried, Yaakov tried, as we will say elaborately in the Haggadah. But destroyed, we will never be destroyed. There's nothing left of Paro. There's nothing left of Lavan, but we're still here.